Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Reality Bites. Today is Thursday, May the 18th, 2023. I just wanted to share some short little blips of information regarding some news in the finance and crypto sphere that has come out today. Things are kind of coming together a lot. Tomorrow is the new moon in Taurus, and we just had Jupiter entering Taurus on Tuesday. I did a video on that, so you can check that out. It's in my feed. So there's a lot of changes going on, new energy and changes happening within the realm of finance, money, and banking. So I will share a little bit with you. This is not going to be a too long of a video. I need to start making videos a little bit shorter, I think. So let's share my screen here. Okay. All right. So news has come out today that Ripple, obviously this is a company that I follow. They are leading the way in developing the infrastructure for a lot of the new digital monetary system that is coming with this financial collapse that we are heading into. It is a great reset on the financial system. If you watched my video on the solar eclipse, or I think it was the lunar eclipse, actually, the part 1 video, talking about the Shemitah cycles and how a lot of the financial collapses happen on a 7-year cycle. And we are currently in a year of the Jubilee, which coincidentally, if there's such a thing, illustrates a year of debt forgiveness. And that kind of aligns with some of the things that we are seeing today and in today's world regarding the United States debt ceiling needing to be raised. And if it doesn't, then we are in for a catastrophe, according to Janet Yellen. So let's dive into that a little bit. We have here that Cryptic Poet here has written that Ripple has unveiled a CBDC platform powered by the XRP Ledger technology. So if we go here, it's launched this platform enabling central banks, okay, and governments to issue their own digital currencies. The platform leverages XRP Ledger technology and offers comprehensive management and customization of CBDCs, aiming to increase financial inclusion and enhance payment processes. Now, the train tracks and the infrastructure is already there. I've seen some other videos about this, and this is kind of like a plug and play for governments and central banks to just issue their CBDC within like really easily and put it on the blockchain, and it's interoperable with other countries' CBDCs as well. So that is interesting. We're going to delve into that a little bit more. They're also putting NFTs on this, and not like not the NFTs that people that would normally think of. Non-fungible tokens are going to be utilized to tokenize everything that is necessarily a contract on paper in the current world. So mortgages, real estate, car ownership, stuff like that. So everything is going to be tokenized, and it is going to be on a ledger, on the XRP ledger, perhaps. Okay, so let's move on and read this a little bit more in depth, okay? So Ripple launches the CBD platform for the development of CBDCs and stablecoins. Full service platform allows user to seamlessly mint, manage, transact, and redeem CBDCs and stablecoins. Okay, so with more than 90% of countries exploring, developing, and implementing central bank digital currencies as a way to increase financial inclusion. So this is how they're framing it too. A lot of the language is saying that they want to develop this in Africa is because they want them to be financially included in the rest of the world because they need help. Meanwhile, they have a lot of commodities, and they're really rich in metals like gold. And a lot of the countries are looking to create their own stable coins backed by gold. But the Sustainable Development Goals group are really pushing back on them. And so I think covered that a little bit in another video. So I'm just going to try to stay on topic here. Okay, so as a way to increase financial inclusion and lower the cost and risk of domestic and cross-border payment processes, today Ripple is announcing the Ripple CBDC platform, a frictionless end-to-end solution for central banks, governments, and financial institutions to issue their own central bank digital currency, leveraging the power of the same blockchain technology used for the XRP ledger. The enhanced platform will now allow its users to holistically manage and customize the entire life cycle of a fiat-based central bank digital currency transaction and distribution. Okay, the Ripple CBDC platform enables central banks, governments to bring the next level of digitization to their financial services while promoting access to millions of people around the world who are unbanked. Wow. Partnering with Ripple to help create our national digital currency is part of our commitment to lead in financial innovation and technologies. Now, the Republic of Palau is one of actually the first countries to issue their own country's CBDC on Ripple's XRP ledger. This happened a while back, so that is not new. But now, so keep this in mind that the news of this is coming out today about Ripple's CBDC platform. Now, think about the new moon in Taurus, what's happening, a new financial system on the way, new energies coming in about money. Then we also have Ripple so this is about their NFTs on this ledger as well. Okay, so Ripple to showcase a real estate asset tokenization solution as part of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority's inaugural EHKD pilot program. So Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, announced today that it has been selected to showcase a real estate asset tokenization solution as part of Hong Kong's Monetary Authority's inaugural EHKD pilot program. The HKMA has adopted a three-rail approach to prepare for the possible rollout of EHKD. As a leading provider offering real-world asset tokenization capabilities, Ripple, alongside its partners, including Fubon Bank, one of the largest commercial banks in Taiwan, will demonstrate its use case under EHKD pilot program, which focuses on real estate asset tokenization and equity release leveraging the EHKD. EHKD pilot program will see a series of pilots conducted with the various industry players to gain in-depth research into application. So with real-world asset tokenization predicted to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry by 2030, tokenizing commodities such as real estate is gaining traction within the financial services and government sectors as a core use case. Okay, so Ripple's innovative solution combining the EHKD, tokenized real estate, and lending protocols will run on a private and secure ledger built with the same technology as XRP ledger. Okay, so if you want to read more about that a little bit, you can check that out. And then we also have today on what day is it today? I never know what day it is. It is the 18th. So today we have the Bilderberg meeting starting. Now this group, I probably shouldn't have said that name, but anyways, this group has been very secretive in the past. No media is allowed in these meetings. It has been kept a secret and very guarded since its inception. And it's weird now that they have a website with their press release stating what they're talking about in their agenda. I find that to be really weird, but let's see what they're talking about. So they're in Portugal. About 130 participants from 23 countries have confirmed their attendance. As ever, a diverse group of political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, labor, and media has been invited. So you can even see who the list of participants are. It's very weird. Okay, so key topics for discussion are AI, the banking system, China, energy transition, Europe, fiscal change challenges, India, industrial policy, trade, NATO, Russia, transnational threats, Ukraine, and US leadership. Now, this is a group of elites. Some of them, most of them are not elected. And even to say if they were, that doesn't mean anything these days anymore. Okay. People are not elected by, like, leaders are not elected by the people, and they don't represent the people, and they haven't for a very long time. Okay. But I just thought that it's very interesting timing that, Ripple's launching the CBDC platform for global partnerships and interoperability. We have the Bilderberg meeting. Okay. And we have the debt ceiling issue in the States, right? Now, Janet, my girl Janet Yellen here, she had said in this video that the United States has always paid its bills on time, and I've seen another video, couldn't find it surprisingly, that she has indicated that the United States has never ever defaulted on a bill payment. Okay, so we're going to watch this, and then we're going to watch a video that illustrates, yes, they have many times, and the consequences of that. Now, in my opinion, like I really feel that we might be seeing an intentional defaulting of well, I don't live in the States, but of the United States' debt ceiling, because they need a crisis. And this seems to be a perfect storm to usher in this digital age, considering everything is kind of aligning. Okay. So let's play that here.
As many of you know, I have asked Congress to raise or suspend the debt limit. Since 1789, the United States has paid all of our bills on time, and it should stay that way. In my assessment and that of economists across the board, a default on our debt would produce an economic and financial catastrophe. Many residents in Sacramento could ultimately lose their jobs. Household payments on mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards would rise, and American businesses would see credit markets deteriorate. On top of that, it's unlikely that the federal government would be able to issue payments to millions of Americans, including our military families and seniors who rely on Social Security. In the longer term, a default would raise the cost of borrowing into perpetuity. Future investments would become substantially more costly. This economic catastrophe is preventable, and the solution is simple. Congress must vote to raise or suspend the debt limit, and it should do so without conditions, and it should not wait until the last.
No conditions. You can still spend however much you want. It's like daddy's giving you a free credit card. Go nuts.
Minute. I believe it is a basic responsibility of our nation's leaders to get this done.
The basic responsibility of our nation's leaders, not your responsibility to spend appropriately, but I get to spend how much I want. It's your responsibility to deal with it and raise my limit. All right, now let's see. So that's interesting, and I really love the pulling on the heartstrings of that they making themselves seem to care, they're making themselves seem like they care about people and family and old people on Social Security and veterans, families and stuff. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Come on. All right, so this is Peter St. Onge. He's really amazing at breaking things down. He puts videos out almost every day, if not every day or multiple a day. So he's really good to follow if you are into this kind of stuff. Let's take a look.
survey last week asked people what would they buy if the US did actually do a clean default. The answer, most would buy gold, then Bitcoin, then US dollars. Implying, of course, that you should be rooting for default if you happen to own gold, Bitcoin, or US dollars, but perhaps not if you own a bank. Now, I've mentioned in recent videos that clean default ain't happening. It's an empty threat because governments know if they stiff investors, the deficits are gone forever. Nobody will lend. Still, what if we did do a clean default? Now, one of the gaslights throughout the debt ceiling debate has been the almost sacred incantation, quote, the full faith and credit of the United States shall never be questioned. This is nonsense. In fact, the US has defaulted many times. It has questioned that full faith and credit many times, including after the 14th Amendment that allegedly forbids it. The last big default was Nixon closing the gold window in the 1970s. That meant foreigners no longer got the gold they had been promised for their dollars. Instead, they were just random green tokens. Before that, the biggest one-off default was FDR, who effectively canceled 40% of the national debt, incidentally including the Liberty bonds that naive citizens had bought to fund World War I. And he did that by canceling 40% of the value of the dollar itself, by devaluing dollars in terms of gold. By the way, there were 14th Amendment suits brought against FDR, which were obediently discarded by a pro-government Supreme Court in a 1935 decision that featured McReynolds' famous dissent, quote, just men regard repudiation and spoliation of citizens by their sovereign with abhorrence, but we are asked to affirm that the Constitution has granted power to accomplish both. And affirm they did under threat of court packing by the dictatorial FDR. Beyond these hard defaults, since that 1935 spoliation and repudiation, the U.S. has added soft defaults on the national debt via inflation nearly every single year. In fact, 84 out of 87 so far, to the point that today's dollar is worth 1/2000th of an ounce of gold. That's about 99% gone.
1/2000th of a percent, or no, 1/2000th of an ounce of gold. It's 99% gone. That money's worthless.
So yes, default is always on the table, but spot the pattern. All of these defaults, 40% under FDR, 50% under Nixon, 99% since the Fed, did not just take out the debt, they took all dollars out. Every bank account, every fixed pension, every dollar saved up in a coffee can. Basically, the federal government couldn't get rid of a hornet's nest, so it burned down the entire town. And so, given it's now well established that default is very much possible, in fact, it's the standard playbook for 84 out of the past 87 years, I'd argue let's stop defaulting by destroying the dollar. Let's man up and just clean default. Issue new debt for the widows and orphans. And as for Wall Street and China, devil take the hindmost. In reality, the choice is not between default and full faith and credit. It is between clean default that only takes out the financial enablers, and a dirty default that takes the entire US dollar down with it, and that takes all Americans down. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next.
Pretty intense stuff, wouldn't you say? So that's all I have for today. Let's keep note on what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is the new moon in Taurus, and it's a Friday, and usually stuff happens on Friday because it's the weekend and then the news doesn't have to report it and everyone's kind of distracted by other stuff, right? Usually important stuff comes out on Fridays, and we're approaching June 1st when that's the deadline of when Janet Yellen has indicated that they might default. So we got like, I don't know, a couple weeks left or 1.5 weeks left. Let's see what's going to happen. All right, that is all for today. Let me stop sharing here. See you on my next video. Have a nice evening.